Welcome to part 2 of the French Chateau tutorial. Let's pick up right where we left off. Alright, so last time we had just done the tour of the building. Took quite a while, but I thought it deserved its own part. For today, of course, we're going to be starting on all the phases to actually construct the building. We got phase 1 here, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. We'll be doing the entire thing like we're 3D printing it from the bottom. But as you can see here, the house is pretty straightforward once we get the foundation done. But we have a pretty big problem here with the foundation because of some of the experience I've had with the comments over the years of the Roman, what was it, the Roman estate tutorial. This is a bit like that with the size and the gardens and everything. So what I've decided, instead of counting everything out with the red and the torches and everything, what we're actually going to do for this one, I want to try something new. I think it'll be better. We are going to flip over to MCEdit, and in that way it has a convenient thing that we can use to measure out all of the little garden patterns here. I think first we'll start, probably here at the front. We're going to take a bunch of measurements, a whole bunch of measurements. We're going to first establish the bounds of the estate, and then we're going to do the pathways and the gardens and everything. And then we will do the house itself. I'll probably cover the house twice. I think we'll do it once in MCEdit, and then we'll come back here and we'll take a closer look at it in game. But you can see here, it's fairly straightforward with the house itself. And once we have done that, of course, we will come back to all of the in-game footage and everything here for the second and all the rest of the phases. But for the first one, I think it will be better to do it by looking at it in MCEdit. However, the graphics, they're going to be a little rough, but I think as far as the number counting and laying everything out, it's going to be the better way to go. So with that, I will see you there. Alright, here we are inside of MCEdit. This is actually the program I use to build most things, actually, because just the, I can move around a lot easier, and we've got a whole bunch of tools and everything, but never mind that. So the first thing we want to do is establish the size of the chateau itself. So if I draw this little box here, just like that, if you will look down, down right here, you can see. So it's got the dimensions. It's got 109 wide by 110 long. Those are going to be the foundation dimensions of the chateau. So the first thing we want to do is we want to count out of the cobbled deep slate 109 blocks here wide. And that should be big enough to see on your screen, but even if it's not, I'm going to be saying all the numbers out here and everything. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to start here at the front, and then we're going to go back here with the numbering and measuring and everything. I really wish I had this tool to use in like creative or something, but no graphical user interfaces. Everything's, you have to click on it with your character or use slash commands or But you can see just how useful this thing is to measure things out. And it will preclude me from counting everything wrong, because this is quite a lot of numbers, and I want to make sure we get them all right from the start. So the next thing we want to do is you want to do a big box of cobbled deep slate, actually. It's going to be 109 wide, as I said. See, here at the front, 109 wide. And then going all the way to the back, it's going to be 110 blocks long to get back here. You want to do this entirely out of cobbled deep slate. See, 109 across the front, and then do 110. Just a straight line of cobbled deep slate all the way back here. And then 109 back there, and then 110 across there. And that will give you the bounding box for the chateau. All right, so the next thing we want to do is establish our center line for the building, which is going to run just straight straight through here. Just like that. So if I establish it this way, the building itself, you can see for the interior is it's mostly symmetrical, but it's not quite symmetrical. And that goes also for the exterior gardens around here as well. You can see we do have at the front here, everything is pretty symmetrical right here. But when we get over to this section and that section, they are different from each other, and it ends up being symmetrical again at the back there. But in this middle section, things take a left turn for a while. So the first thing we want to do is establish, I think, what? Something that's going to be easily done is right behind all this cobbled deep slate that we laid down. Right here, the 109 by 110. Right behind that, you want to put in a band of tuff. And the measurements for that, I mean, it's going to be right behind that, but it's going to be 107 by 108. You can see here, just start in the corner and run a band of tuff right behind the deep slate, turn the corner, and just straight across the front, straight across the side again, and straight across the back, okay? All right, now here at the front, let's say we want to establish our center line right here. So let me just mark that. It's a bit of granite right there. All right, so if we count from our edge right here and count for 55 blocks, that will bring us to our center line. Note that it is 54 blocks, and then the 55th block will be our center line. And if we kept counting again and added in another 54 blocks, we would get all the way back to the edge here. See, 54. So the 55th block here is going to be our center line. It's going to be very important to do all this. So remember, when you're doing all the measurements, we want to count these things out 3 times because, it's very foundational here. So if we make a mistake right now, it's going to cause a lot of problems later on. So the next thing I think we want to do is establish this little plaza right here we have out front. It's our main plaza. So that is going to be 27 by 27, just a big square. And we want to do that out of cobbled deep slate. 2 block sticks, see here? It's going to be 27 by 2. And then back from that, you can run that back, 25 blocks by 2 on either side. And then filling that in back here, it's going to be 23 blocks by 2 wide. Okay? All right, so right in behind that, we want to do just a big square of tuff, 23 by 23 blocks. Right here, see? 23 by 23. Everything here is exactly measured by the brushes. See, we're not going to have Trydar trying to, count out blocks, making mistakes, trying to do 1, 2, 3 all the time. We actually have tools for that. This is why we're doing an MCEdit. So I think it's better this way. So behind that, we have this little simple pattern that's going to fit inside a square of 21 by 21. And you can see here on the edges, we have 3 by 3 of cobbled deep slate right here, but just with the edge block here nibbled out and replaced with a block of tuff right here, here, there, and there. And then beside that, you want to do just a 3 blocks of tuff, and then 3 blocks of tuff here, like so. And then for the rest of this, I think you can see we're just doing the cobbled deep slate again, 13 by 2, and then 2 here, 3 there, 2 there, 1 there, 2 there, and then that's going to be 2 by 13. And then this just fits inside of a big square, by the way. If you want to go ahead and lay down your tuff, you can. Just the inside dimensions of that is going to be 17 by 17. And we just have this very simple pattern here of the cobbled deep slate. Just like this here. Okay. All right, so that should be your main plaza laid down. So the next thing we want to do is just tackle these gardens off to the right and the left. Let's do the one on the right first. So we've already put in the edge here with the tuff going that way and that way. So behind this, we want to have our garden pathways with more tuff, which is going to expand it to be 3 blocks wide. So this section here of tuff should measure out to be 3 blocks wide by 40 blocks long. Okay? All right, so the next section of pathway is going to be pretty easy actually. This section of tuff is going to be 3 blocks wide by 108 blocks long. You should have already placed this bit of tuff here. So that'll be what, 2 by 105 to get from there back here. And then here at the back, this entire run of tuff is going to be 3 blocks wide by 46 blocks long. Okay, 3 blocks wide and 46 going this way to get to this little plaza at the back. And this is just an inset square design. So if you want to, you can go ahead and build this. It is 15 by 15 of cobbled deep slate, 2 blocks deep on either side, like so. And then inside of that, you want to do a square of 11 by 11 of tuff. And then come in behind that and go 9 by 9 of cobbled deep slate. And in the middle, fill in the rest of the 7 by 7 with just tuff. See? Pretty simple. And then here, this entire section again, this should be the same, 3 by 46, just like we had over here, like we had over there. It's going to be the same back over here. All right, 3 by 46. All right. And we'll come to this later. We're just doing all the measurements for the outer sections where we're starting on the edges and we're working our way in. So the complete measurements for this section here are going to be 3 by 43 long. Now this is already taking, this is double measuring some of this. I mean, you've already placed this probably. So what you'd actually need to place down, including the outer edge of tuff, would be like, what, 2 by 40? But the complete measurement for this section is 3 by 43 of tuff. Okay, so we have another little inset square. Back here, if you want to go ahead and place this. So it's going to be cobbled deep slate, 13 by 13. 2 blocks deep on all sides. Then in behind that, you have 9 by 9 of tuff. And then we have 7 by 7 of cobbled deep slate. And then a middle square of 5 by 5 of tuff. All right, and then from there, this entire measurement of tuff for the garden path is going to be 3 blocks wide by 52 blocks long. Okay, now that's going to bring us all the way back around to the front here, right here, where we should already have that established. So now, like I said, let's go on and do this section here. So we want to lay down some cobbled deep slate, just like this here, of 1 block wide by 36 blocks long. See, right down here, 36 blocks. All right, and then behind that, we want to lay down some more cobbled deep slate right here, and this is going to be 54 blocks long. Now, when you're counting these out, see here, I have this edge selected. This is already that's included in the measurement that I just gave you right here with the 36. So if we want to nibble that block out, that 1 block we have probably already placed down, it's actually 53 blocks that you have to place. See? But the entire measurement for this is going to be 54 blocks long. So I don't want you to get tripped up on that. All right, now here, counting the block we've already placed down, we want to turn 90 degrees and place down a total of 17 blocks of cobbled deep slate. You'll only be placing down about 16 blocks, actually. But the entire dimension, including the block we've already placed down from the previous measurement, is going to be 17. So as we go in this, I'm going to be giving you the complete dimension. All right, so turning the block again, counting the block we've already placed down, is going to be 19 blocks long. Right there. All right, turn 90 degrees, count the block we've already placed down, and count for 20 blocks total of cobbled deep slate. And then turn 90 degrees again, counting also the first block we placed down and the last block we placed. That's going to be a total of 36 blocks. You'll actually be putting down 34 blocks, but the total length of this run here of cobbled deep slate is 36 blocks long. Okay? All right. So that there should have given us the outlines of this here and that bit there. And now behind that, we want to place down just a big ring of grass right behind the cobbled deep slate here. We want to place down grass. So we don't really need to measure this. It's just right behind what we've already placed, just right here, there, there, and there. Place down grass. Okay. Now behind that, we want to place down a big square of netherrack. I like to use netherrack as garden mulch. I think it makes a nice contrast with the green and everything, that dark burgundy red it has. So for that, it's 32 by 32, which is just right behind the grass we've already placed down already here. So we don't really need a measurement. I just place down the netherrack here and this pattern there, and right behind the grass here, place down the netherrack like that there. All right, let's do this little section here since it's easy. So 2 blocks wide of grass all the way around. The total square for the grass, well, the rectangle for the grass here is going to be 11 by 17. And then when we want to do an inset square of netherrack, 7 by 13. And then fill in the remainder here with grass that's going to be 5 by 11. Okay? 5 by 11. All right, now back here at the front, we want to do this little pattern here. It's an echo of this little pattern here, by the way. So this is going to be on all sides. It's going to be 5 blocks away of grass. So if you want to place a big square of grass, 5 blocks wide all the way around. Right here, and then place just a big square. It's going to be 20 by 20 of netherrack. And then come back in here and nibble out the corners here of this little 5 by 5 section. We want to go in just like this right here. See? You can actually follow the cursor around to get the block pattern. You want to do that, just rotate it 90 degrees. You want to do the same on all 4 of the corners here of the square that we measured out, of the 20 by 20. Just nibble out the corners and make this design, and fill in the other space with grass. All right, so in the middle here, we want to count out. It's going to be 6 blocks away from all the edges. And in the middle here, it's going to be a 6 by 6. That's just how it worked out. 6 by 6. And then we want to come in and nibble out the edges, 3 blocks of grass here. You can just place a 6 by 6 of netherrack inside the square here, and come back in and nibble out the corners with grass right there. Okay? All right. So all of that we just did for all of that there, you want to do exactly the same for this here. Okay, let's measure it out. We've got the 20 by 20 and the 6 by 6 we just talked about. These are exactly the same. Let me zoom out a little bit, see? And this over here is the same as this over here. And the same holds true for all the cobbled deep slate too. all this measurement here that we did, 36, the same 36 as it was over here. Turning the corner, going for 26 total. Turning the corner again, counting the quarter twice, is 13. And then here, that's going to be 11. And you should have already built your plaza here. Edge it out with the tuff if you haven't already done that. And this little section right here is going to be the same. The 5 by 11 with the grass and everything. Just like it was over there. And I think if we, yeah. But it's going to be a little shorter on this side here. See, if we extend that, it doesn't touch this because we've got our little plaza over here, whereas we just have a simple pathway over there. All right, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. This section here that we've done with the grass and everything. Let me back up a little bit. This block here, well, like I said, let me not get too ahead of everything. So this block here, this 36 is the same, mirrored on this side. But then the dimension is different when we turn. Right here, counting the block we've already placed down. We want to go for 26. And then turn the corner and go for a total of 13. And that should run right in to this section here we've already placed down. Just like so. And then in behind here, you want to add this little section of netherrack, 7 by 12. And then the insect section of grass is 5 by 11. See down here, 5 by 11. All right, let's not do this section yet. Let's do the back gardens now on the side here. All right, so directly attached to that, we have this total here is going to be 11 blocks of cobbled deep slate. This measurement here is going to be 39 blocks of cobbled deep slate. Turning the corner here at the back, including the one we already placed down, that one block there, is going to be a total of 42 blocks of cobbled deep slate. And then turning 9 degrees and going this way, it's going to be 18 blocks of cobbled deep slate. All right, turning the corner again, going this way, it's going to be 32 blocks of cobbled deep slate. Remember, these are total blocks. The actual number of blocks you place down might only be 30. And then we already did this one here. That's, I think, no. Okay, so turn the corner again. That's going to be 22 blocks total of cobbled deep slate. And that should bring you right here to what you've already placed down. Okay? All right. So now behind that, you want to come along, just like we did for the front, and do this entire section here of grass. See? Just edge it in right behind the numbers we already placed down. We don't really have to do numbering on this. Just do all the edges here out of grass. And then right behind the grass, you want to edge out everything with the netherrack. It's like you see done here. All right, and then for this section here, just continue the netherrack in and make a rectangle. And for this section here, fill that entire thing in with grass. 5 blocks wide by 20 blocks long, 5 by 20 of all grass. And if you want to, you can fill this in with grass too. It's going to be 12 by 36. And it's 2 blocks wide on all sides of grass. And then we're going to have an inset rectangle of 8 by 32 with the netherrack, and then fill in the entire interior 6 by 30 with grass. All right? Okay. So you should have already done this section here. I think we talked about this section here. You want to edge out the entire thing right here with tuff. And then right on the other side of that here, you'll notice we have some of the garden pathways are slightly more narrow than others. I did try to make them all 3, but this one worked out to be 2 right there. But anyway, so on the other side of our plaza here, this measurement is going to be 17 blocks long. It's going to be 1 block shorter than the 18 that we had over there. It's going to be 17. And then you should already have all this tuff here placed down from before. So behind that, we're just putting in cobbled deep slate here for a total of 42 blocks. And then turn the corner, counting that one again, counting that corner block twice. We want to have a total of 45 blocks. All right. Turning the corner again, we want to have a total of 17 blocks. Remember, when we're doing this, don't get confused. These corner blocks are getting counted. Getting counted twice. See, it's getting counted here in the 45, but it's getting counted again here in the 17. So when you're doing your counting, make sure whenever we're starting a new dimension that you're counting the total number of blocks here in that length. All right, so starting at this corner again, counting the corner block twice, we have a total of total of 29 blocks. And then again here, we have a total of 26 blocks. And that should bring you back all the way to this here. I think you probably only actually have to place down 24 blocks, considering we should have already placed down those. And that one. And then behind that, you know the drill. We want to edge out the entire thing with grass. Grass here, there, here, there, there, and there. We don't need to count that out because we've already bounded it in with the cobbled deep slate. And then behind that, you want to do the entire thing, edge it out with the netherrack. Here, there, along here, there, and there. Okay? All right, and then 2 blocks long. Well, if you want to, you can go ahead and extend the netherrack here. And just connect that together, like so. And then behind that, 2 blocks on all sides. Rectangle and square the entire thing in with grass. See, all along here, grass, grass, grass. And then do an inset square of netherrack. Up there, it's going to be 7 by 23. In the corner here, it's going to be 7 by 7. And here at the back, it's going to be 20 by 7. And then the inset squares of the grass is just the remainder to fill in. You don't need to count this. You shouldn't need to anyways, but it's going to be 5 by 21. 5 by 5, and 5 by 18. Okay? All right. Let's see. So that should bring us a full circle on everything here. Actually, we've already done this section here that we started with. We did this section and this one. Then this here, that, this, and that. All right. And then fill in just this little pathway here. Just like you see here, just 3 blocks wide of tuff. Okay. Alrighty. So now let's go all the way back to the front of the chateau, marked out here where we have our center line. So we want to do let's do this section here. All right. So let's take a look at this. So this is just a combination of tuff and cobbled deep slate. So we want to have tuff pathways on either side here of 3 by 14 on the right and 3 by 14 on the left. And then just a straight run of tuff here of 23. And then we want to have 2 blocks of cobbled deep slate, 4 blocks of tuff, 2 blocks of deep slate, and then this little section of tuff here. If you want to do 6 blocks that way, and then turn and go for 6 blocks again and 5 blocks again to connect. And this here, this is just 5 by 5 of cobbled deep slate with an inset square of 3 by 3 of tough. All right, and then this total here is just 7 by 7. Okay. And then this over here is just the same, 2, 4, and 2. All right, and then behind that, you want to lay down a big rectangle of 8 by 9 of cobbled deep slate right here. And then behind that again, 8 by 9 of cobbled deep slate. And then back around here, we have 4 blocks there, 4 blocks here, 3 blocks there, and 3 blocks here. 3 blocks more of tough right there. And then we have a step down of 3 blocks of stone brick, or I think they're actually going to be polished andesite stairs. Now for this section here, we have the central section of the house is sunken down 1 block. And let me just show you that real quick. Like if I cut off this entire section, we can see we're going to have this section here, that all of this is going to be sunken down 1 block there. And we'll bring all that back, but we're going to be doing that at the same time as we do the house here. So, but you want to dig down and place 3 blocks there, and then 5 blocks here. And in the corners here, we want to have 3 stairs, and then a sunken down section entirely of cobbled deep slate right here of 3 blocks wide and 21 blocks long between the stairs. So if you count here between these stairs, you should have a sunken dimension down 1 block of 21 blocks long. Okay? All right. So now let's do the garden pathways behind that. So here, starting, zoom out a little bit, we're gonna do this section here of the pathways around the chateau, and this section here, and that, and that. Like I said, we are sort of spiraling in to do the dimensions for the house. Okay? All right. So now here for the tough, we want to lay down 3 by 28. Remember that's a total dimension. You may already have this bit laid down for when we did the 3 by 14. But for the total dimension for the tough is going to be 3 by 28. But like I said, you may only need to count 3 by 25 if you've already got the 3 by 3. All right, so turning the corner again, counting, remember we're double counting this right here. So the total dimension for the tough here is going to be 3 by 15. And then turn the corner here and add another 3 by 4. And if you want to, at the end of that, go ahead and put down your stairs. But remember, we're digging down 1 block for these stairs here. Okay? So this central measurement here is going to be 9 blocks wide of tough. And then we are going to have, let me see. And then this section of cobbled deep slate here is going to be 8 by 9. Okay? And then on the other side of that here, we just have the same 3 by 7 of tough. And then in front of the stairs, you want to dig down 3 blocks and place cobbled deep slate. And then in front of that, you want to dig down 1 block right here and place a rectangle of cobbled deep slate down in the ground 1 block. That's going to be 4 blocks wide and 21 blocks long. Okay? All right. Let's see. So, all right. So the next section of the pathway for the tough here is going to be 3 by 21, but the total dimension of that for the tough is going to be 3 by 24, but you probably already placed down that bit there. All right, so we want to turn the corner. Let's do this bit of pathway here. The total dimension for this one is going to be 34 blocks long by only 2 blocks wide. I probably could have shifted this around a bit and made it a 3. I don't remember why I exactly made it a 2, but that's what I did. All right, so, and that will bring us here to this section here, this little plaza on the side that we've already made. So edge the entire thing around with tuff if you haven't. Or 17 by 17. Right here. And then behind that, we want to have 3 blocks of cobbled deep slate, and then 5 blocks of tuff, and then 3 blocks of deep slate. And then behind that, we want to place down a big rectangle of 8 by 11 of cobbled deep slate. All right. And then here you can see we have stair step downs again. 3 stairs. Right in front of the stair, dig down 1 block and place 3 cobbled deep slate. Same over here for the other stair. All right, and then you want to dig down for this section here and place 19 blocks wide by 4 blocks across of cobbled deep slate. And then do this little section here, dig down again, and place a 3 by 4. And do the same over here, and place a 3 by 4 also. And then in front of the doors here, the double doors, you want to dig down and place a 2 by 2. And then either with the stone bricks or the polished andesite, place down 2 stone bricks on either side of our doorway. Right there. Okay. All right. So let's just leave that here for the moment. We don't want to go inside just yet. We'll do that in a moment. We're working up around to it. So let's see. On the inside edge of our gardens, let's see, where are we at? At the back here. So we want to do this little section of grass, I think. Well, let's see. Yeah, let's keep going around. I think we still need to do this pathway here, don't we? So that's going to be 3 by 28 total dimensions for the tuff. Turn the corner. The total dimension for the tuff again is going to be 3 by 26. And then over here, once you get to the end of that, you want to put down, dig down 1 block and place 3 stairs. And then dig down again and place 3 wide by 5 long of cobbled deep slate. And then that should be your other stair here. And while we're here, at the end of this pathway, we want to place 3 blocks of deep slate, down 1 block, 3 stairs, and then the total dimension for this side pathway here for the tuff is going to be 18. So from the stair all the way to the edge of the cobbled deep slate is going to be 18 of tuff, right there. All right, and then since while we're here, turn the corner and also place down here another 3 by 4 of cobbled deep slate here, which actually leads us to the door into our kitchen. Alrighty, so next thing for the tuff, we want to do 3 wide by 16 long total dimension for the tuff. And then turning the corner again, the total dimension for, I think this should be the last of the tuff garden pathway, is going to be 22 blocks long by 3 blocks wide. So here all the way from the cobbled deep slate to the stair is 22 blocks long. All right, and that brings us back around to the front. I think we already talked about this here, digging down 3 by 21 there. So now that brings us to the house, the house proper. Actually, no, there's a little bit more we can do here, I think, before we switch back over into Minecraft. So here, I think we still need to do a bit of the garden pathways here. So let me zoom out a little bit so we can get our bearings. So here's the front of the chateau. We've already done all of the main gardens around the sides, like so. All those measurements we've done. The pathways along here, and now we've got just a little bit of more gardens here at the front and some edging that we need to do now. All right, so here, starting at the stair, we want to place down just right by the edge of the stair. Well, the total run of the cobbled deep slate right here is going to be 34, but if we want to count from the stair, it's going to be 9 blocks of cobbled deep slate, and then we've got this here, and we've got some stone bricks and some of the first wood we're seeing in the chateau, not the last. A whole bunch of wood in the building right here, and then a piece of a door, and then another tree trunk, some more stone bricks, and then another 9 blocks will get us back to the other stair. Okay. All right, and now counting from the edge of the stair again here, we're probably double counting a block there, but the total dimension from that is going to be 26 blocks long, but the total dimension of everything should be 34 blocks long. All right, and then turn the corner here, double counting that block on the corner, and go for 9, and then turning corner again here, we should be going for 6. And then this entire dimension of cobbled deep slate is going to be 3 by 6. This little extension is going to be 3 by 4. This little part here is going to be 2 by 5. And this foundation wall here is going to be 3 by 12. And then from here, measuring all the way back to the stair, is going to be a total of 2 by 6. You probably already placed down some of that, so it's really going to be 2 by 5. All right, and the measurements for the grass, you can see, was just a very simple 2 by 23. Okay, so if this doesn't measure 2 by 23, then one of the dimensions we went over, you placed down wrong. So, you want to, as I said, you want to make sure, be very careful counting all this out. That's why I'm giving you complete dimensions of 2 by 23, and then we're going to be double counting that. So that's going to be 2 by 7 that way of grass. All right, so we're looking back towards the front plaza here. So let's go back over here. Turn the corner again by our kitchen. So by our little stair here, we should already have blocks placed that 1 by 9. So double counting this one. From our stair, it's going to extend out to 21 blocks long. Wait. I'm off by 1. Sorry. 20 blocks long. And the total run of the cobbled deep slate here is going to be 28 blocks long. All right, turn the corner again, double counting this block here in the corner. It's going to be a total run of the cobbled deep slate for 15 blocks. And then turn and go for 3. And then here we can place this little section of doorway. This is just extra diorite back here in the corner. These can be cobbled deep slate. Now we have a bit of wood, a bit of door, and a bit more wood. I think what is that? Spruce tree trunk. And then just on the other side of that there, we got 4 more blocks of cobbled deep slate. Okay, and then behind that here, we should have at the front here, looking back towards the front where we placed down our center line, we want a total run of the grass to be 2 by 17. And then we're going to double count that. And then it's going to be 2 by 13 in total for this section here. All right, and then behind that, if you want to, you can go ahead and place down the foundation of a 2 by 12 of cobbled deep slate. And then we're going to be counting that corner twice. So then we want to run for 2 by 17, and then a little 2 by 2 there, and then a 1 by 10 there, and that should fill in all of these sections for the outside foundation. All right, that should be now the dimensions for this section here, for this these sections back there. So now we want to do the ones at the back. Let's see. All right. So starting our doorway and our stairs here, the total run for this cobbled deep slate here is going to be 25 blocks long. Remember, we've got our step down, 1 block down into the ground right there. So that's going to be 1 by 25. Turning the corner again. We're running for a total of 22 blocks till we get back to our stairs here that we've already built. Then we just got 2 blocks of cobbled deep slate right there. And then we've got a section of 3 by 11 here. And then 2 blocks. And then turn the corner and run for a total of 2 by 17. And then turning the corner again, we're going for a total of 2 by 12. That'll bring us all the way back from the corner back to the doorway. Right there. Okay. Now the grass back here is going to be 2 by 23. And this entire section, this entire rectangle of grass here is going to be 17 by 12. And then allow 2 blocks on all sides and do an inset square of 8 by 13 of netherrack and fill in the entire remainder of 6 by 11 with grass. Right? And then in behind that for the foundations, we've got a total of 2 by 17. You probably already placed that down, so it's really like 2 by 15. But the total dimension is 2 by 17. Okay? All right, I think we've already placed down this here. But that's going to be 2 by 15. I'm sure you placed down this, but then the total of that is going to be what? Not counting the edge in 12 blocks. And I think we've gone over all of that there. Now, so for this little section here, this is actually below the back door entrance. It's got a little because because of the one of the balconies, we have to have this little square here to support the weight and transfer it down to the foundation. So we've got a 5 by 11 square of cobbled deep slate, but then in the middle of that, you want to hollow that out for 3 by 9. And that's going to be inset down into the ground right there by 1 block. So it's going to be a little 3 by 9 right there. And if you remember from the tour over here, this little section, this is where we have the window with the bars in it right there. And over here, we're going to, of course, have our double doors that go down into our main storage cellar down there. All right, let's see. Trying to keep track. I don't think we've done. I don't remember if we've done this or not. We may be double doing this one. So here, let's do the dimensions for this. The square of grass here is going to be 12 by 23 with an inset square of 8 by 19 of netherrack, and then fill in the entire remainder of 6 by 17 of grass right there. And then this little extension over here is just a 2 by 5. And the total run of this here is going to be 17 blocks long. And then behind this, if you want to, you can fill it in with a little 3 blocks of cobbled deep slate here, and then 12 blocks long here, and then 2 by 2 by 18 of cobbled deep slate there. And then turning the corner here, this measurement is going to be 3 by 21. And then this is 3 by 3. And we've already talked about this here. And the rest of it is now going to be all of the interior detailing. Like this here for the rooms and everything. But I think that we will take a look at that inside the game instead of using MCEdit for that, because it's a lot easier to see. We just have the simple checkerboard patterns. I'll go ahead and give you the dimensions here for the room though. So the entire dimensions for the sunken floor here for the kitchen is going to be 12 by 21. The entire dimension for the sunken floor in the cellar here is going to be 11 by 21. And for, I think, our little laundry room over here, that's going to be 7 by 12. Our hallway is 3 blocks wide, but not counting the doors, it's going to be 35 blocks long. And then over here for our little, our secondary laundry storage utility room, whatever, it's going to be 7 by 12. And down here, our mechanical rooms are going to be 5 by 11, but we've got this little nibble, this little corner here extending up with that. But they're both going to be 5 by 11 with this little block here extending up right there. And of course, the reason we have to have that, these little 3 by 3s right there and there, that's because if you remember inside the chateau, remember in the entranceway we have these two columns right there. If I go back and peek inside of it here, you remember these two fancy Corinthian columns here? Well, I suppose they're Tuscan columns. Right that there. Well, both of those rest just right on foundations, big chunky foundations that go right into the ground, right there. Of course, we have our stairs underneath there as well, but we're not going to bother looking at that with MCEdit. I think now what we're going to do is we're going to switch back into Minecraft and take a look at all of that again, and then we'll start over and do all the phases after that as well. All right, welcome back to Minecraft. I hope that that's going to be useful for you, because as I said, the chateau, you know, the grounds are rather expansive behind me here, so I think measuring everything out very slow like that with MCEdit is going to be the way to go. For this particular building, I think that will serve you better than, you know, than me counting 1, 2, 3, 4, so on and so forth. So, like I said, we've done the plaza, the front gardens, the side gardens, the side plaza, the back gardens, the back plaza, and everything. So you should have everything measured out to this point right here with the half of a door. And now we're going to take a look at that. We're going to do everything for the house traditionally, like I have been doing with all the previous tutorials and everything. So from this point onwards, it's all going to be inside of the game and everything, because the graphics are quite a lot better, so we can actually see what we're doing here. But like I said, with now that we're out of MCEdit, I don't have the handy measuring tool. All we've got now are the, the squares and the torches and everything. So starting here at the front, just right along our center line, right here, remember the granite I placed down like an hour ago? That extends all the way to the doorway here, which we've already placed down. And behind that, you can see here, so if we go in the room here, you can see here we have the door archways are framed out with the polished andesite here. You can use stone bricks, by the way, in lieu of the polished andesite if you want to. All right, and then behind that, we have, not counting the block that the doorway occupies, 1, 2, 3. Well, I just broke the door. 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks there, and then we have 1, 2, 2 blocks wide, but for 1, 2. No, let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks of cobbled deep slate. And then beside that, we want to place down then an oak tree trunk, 2 spruce slabs, well, two full blocks of spruce planks, and then 3 spruce stairs, 2 more spruce planks, 1 block of oak tree trunk. And then behind that, we want to have some upside down stairs of spruce here and here. And then you can see here, you just want to fill in the pattern. It's a simple checkerboard pattern of cobbled deep slate and tuff. Right here. So measuring out from this point here, it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to get you right there. All right, and then all the rest of this over here is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more blocks of cobbled deep slate. All right, so that's the most portion of our stairs. And if you want to, you can go ahead and add these, what are these? Dark oak trapdoors, I think. Right here, on the edges of this, right there. And just right here as well, but it doesn't extend into the mechanical spaces. Right here. All right, now going back on the other side of our doorway, again, you should already have this stuff here placed down from everything we've done before. And then counting here, we want to go for what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's the foundation wall for the cobbled deep slate. Again, you should already have that placed down. And then we want to turn and go for 2 blocks wide, and then a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 by 5 of cobbled deep slate here for this foundation wall. 2 blocks of the polished andesite, another doorway here with the tree trunks and the door right there in the middle. Another 2 blocks right there. And then for this cobbled deep slate here, this is a 3 by 3 of cobbled deep slate. Remember in MCEdit when I was showing you how the columns and everything, what they sat on? Well, they're sitting on this right here. In fact, if we extended that block up, this would go right through, right straight up through our column. All right, and then we want to go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks of cobbled deep slate, which I'm just going to refer to it as deep slate. Actually, that's it'll like so. And then we want to do another door archway here, like that. And then for the deep slate, we want to count for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you can see what blocks to place here for the end of that. And then another doorway here, like so. And then we just got 2 by 2 there. And you should have already placed down the outside edges of the foundations. So behind that, we have one of our little utility rooms back here. like that there. We, of course, you know, double up the wall over here with the cobbled deep slate. And then we want to have these walls here be 2 blocks. Oops. We want to have these walls here be 2 blocks thick of cobbled deep slate. Right there. It runs for 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Should bring us back to that right there. And then behind that, we've got just this very simple utility room. Right there with its floor. And the doorway here that goes into it. You can see here all the doorways, they kind of just have the same design to them. Right, then we have already done the bottom of our stairwell here. And like I said, the utility rooms here are symmetrical, just the door placement is different. This is actually, the doors in the real chateau are right there. But because I sunk the staircase down into this section here, we had to move this doorway over here back down over here. So there's our entrance doorway here. Remember, we've got our center line there, extending all the way through the building. Turning off to the left here, we've got our doorway here. And then for what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks of cobbled deep slate, or just deep slate. And then turning and running for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, that brings us to the door of our kitchen. So build the doorway like so. And we have the baseboards for our kitchen are actually done out of deep slate tiles. One of my favorite blocks. I really like these deep slate tiles. They go with so much. So that runs for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Turn the corner, just make that deep slate. Go for 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. Turn the corner, 2, 3, 5, 6, 6, 7, 8, 9. Build another doorway here, just like that. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 9. Turn the corner. 3, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Turn the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the deep slate tiles, and that gets us all the way around the kitchen. And for the kitchen, you can see very simple. We are just doing a nice floor pattern design of chiseled quartz and obsidian. Actually, this is the nicest floor in the basement. So we want to have just a, you know, just a standard old-timey kitchen floor, which is, you know, this is what we would have. Although I think in the actual chateau, I think they went with black and red, or was there white and red? I think it's actually white and red. But anyway, all that's going to get torn up anyway, so I decided to redo the kitchen to something a bit more classic black and white. And all the floors in the real chateau are done with interesting patterned concrete, actually. Just sort of with like whenever they poured the concrete, they drew some designs and lines and cross-hatching into the concrete and everything. But we can't do that in Minecraft. All we've got are blocks, so we just went with a simple checkerboard pattern for that. So now that we've done the kitchen, we've done the front little rooms here, the mechanical rooms, we've done the laundry rooms. Now let's take a look at the long corridor that goes all the way down here from the kitchen, right all the way down the center of the basement area. So you can see here along the basements, we just want to do cobbled deep slate. But then for the baseboarding of that, we're putting a bit of wainscoting on top of that, which is all that is just wood paneling covering over everything. So of course, you know, wood paneling, Minecraft. All we've got are trapdoors for that. So all along the baseboards here, all along here, we are doing the trapdoors. All right, so we've already placed this stuff down here. So we want to count for 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6, and do another door. Then count for 3 and do another door. There's 2 doors into the main cellar. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Another door. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then this door down here, which I assume that you've already built. All right, and since we're down here, we want to turn the corner, space out an extra block of cobbled deep slate, and do another door frame here, and then add in the 2x2 here if you haven't already. And all of this outside foundation wall, we should have already built that. But when we were laboriously measuring everything out with MCEdit and everything like that. All right. And we already covered that room over there. So let's just turn the corner here and measure the inside for 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 12. And then turn the corner here and just cobble deep slate there and go for 2 more. And then add a doorway. And it kind of squishes into our little doorway over here. All right, and then now inside the cellar, or I guess the main storage room, the wine cellar, whatever. I mean, it's a French building. It's got to have a wine cellar down here somewhere. I mean, it's a French building. Them's the rules. So here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks of cobbled deep slate. To get to the doorway, you should have already built 2 more blocks of deep slate there, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And turn the corner 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Turn the corner there 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And on this 11th block, we want to extend it in 1 block and then space out for 4 blocks here and place down a full block of cobbled deep slate and then another 4 blocks of spacing there. Because you remember in our sorry, I'm about getting to the limit of how long I can talk actually. So now you remember inside the chateau when we were doing the tour and everything, down in the bottom here we have a support column right there that's going to be extending up like that, and this is the lowest most portion of that right there with that 1 block. All right, so coming back here and counting for another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we've got our double doors we should have already placed down, and then 1 a corner and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that should get us back to our doorway. And then on the inside here you can see you're just placing down the alternating pattern of the cobbled deep slate and the tuff. All right, let me zoom out a little. All right, so that should be all of the interior dimensions, including the floors and everything, for the bottom level of the chateau. And indeed, that should that's including all the floors that are sunken down 1 block. Remember, we've got we're really doing 2 blocks in this phase. We're doing all of the garden foundations, and we're also doing the sunken basement floors in with this as well. So I hope all of that made sense. I know this is probably going to be a difficult phase to follow, actually. But just take it slow. Do all of your measurements 3 times, like I said, and just do it a little bit at a time. Just break it down a little bit here, a little bit over there, and you should get all the dimensions down. All right? Okay. All right, so from this point onwards, I'm assuming that you've laboriously done all of phase 1. This might be a record for a phase. I don't remember. It's at least taken over an hour to do all this. But it's with adding all the gardens and everything, it made it more complicated. And actually, we can. I think what we're actually going to do is we're only going to get phase 1 into this section here because, like I said, I've kind of reached the limit for how long I can talk for. So we are going to be in the next parts. We are going to start phase 2, which is going to be doing all these little garden walls here, just like that. Which we're gonna, that's going to take a while to look at as well. But then you can see here on top of all of our foundations and everything, we're just going to be laying down blocks on top of that. So a lot of the fiddly and difficult measurements that we have to do have already been done. Now that we have established our foundation and gotten all the numbering and everything right there, we can move on to putting down in phase 2. We're going to be putting down all the hedges for the garden and then all the garden walls. And we're going to do that first, and then we're going to move in and start doing the chateau itself. And then once we get after the off of the first couple of phases, I think once we get done with phase 2 and 3, it's mostly after that it's mostly going to be just some detailing for the trees, a bit for the fountain, but after that everything is going to be only the chateau building proper. Okay, so I hope you have had a lot of fun building the everything in the French chateau so far. Like I said, if you're having trouble with the numbering, just take it slow, go bit by bit, and I think you can get it down from that. Also, if you have made it all the way to the end here, let me know what you thought about me doing all the measuring and everything inside of MCEdit. I think that's, as I said, I think that's a lot better approach to me trying to count torches and blocks and carpets and everything inside the game like we did for the house and everything, just because of how big everything is on the outside. But anyway, so I hope you are having a lot of fun building French Chateau. I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.